Hello, Kalgar here, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of Civilization 6. Now, this is the kind of game that goes on for hours upon hours upon hours. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you maybe 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little longer, show you some of the basics. So, I'm going to create a game, and then just do a few setup things. Tiny map, so it's 4 players. Where's game speed? I'm going to put the online game speed, which speeds everything up double speed. Everything else I'm going to save as is, so regular game. I'm not even going to pick a civ. We'll let it randomize for me. And it's loading. And right there you can hear Sean Bean's narration. Basically like the narration in the earlier games in this series, there's a lot of reading. So far, from the amount I've played of this, Sean Bean has managed to not die, which disappoints me. So, I am kinda tempted to go and make a mod that rectifies the situation, but I don't know how much effort that'll be, and how much reward there'd be for that. So, every civilization has their different bonuses. So as Russians, I get bonus science or culture from trade routes from civilizations that are more advanced than Russia. Probably won't come into play in this little video. And then extra territory upon founding cities, extra faith and production from tundra. So hopefully I'll start in a snowy area. I get Cossacks and Levers as unique units and districts. Districts are a new feature in Civ 6, so I'll probably show you some of that. So here we are. It looks like there's some tundra nearby, but I need to explore a bit. So I've got cotton as a resource to start with, stone, wine, and of course I've got bloody wheat. Celiac's nightmare. Okay, so I'm going to start by settling in the exact spot they've placed me. It's next to a river. It's going to give me good water availability and lots of housing, which is another new feature. So let's found a city. We've got St. Petersburg is this humble little village here. And my Russian warriors, I'm just going to tell them to explore in whatever direction they feel like. I've got combat and movement animations turned off just to speed things up quite a bit. And they have discovered a random peaceful town, so they'll give us bonuses. And there's this little note telling me that on the side. So I'm going to choose a production. Let's start by building a scout. They can wander around a lot quicker than the warriors can. As for research, let's see. I can get the wheat as it is. I can't get the wine or the cotton. Both of those need irrigation, and that's not something I'm not up to. So I'll go with mining, because I can get that stone once I expand a bit. Now, I've always found that the first few turns in a civilization game are quite quick. It's usually just hit next, hit next, hit next. Admittedly, I'm not a very good Civ player, so there's probably something that pros do much more cleverly than I do. So I'm going to tell, next turn, I'm going to tell my warriors to specifically go on to that thing and see what these guys have for me. I've got a great work, the Blood of the Martyr. That's interesting. So that's being displayed in the Palace of St. Petersburg. So that gives me faith and tourism bonuses. So a culture victory in Civilization 6 requires you to get a certain amount of tourism from other countries. And so this is a pretty good start on that kind of thing. Faith is how you will convert people to your religion. We do not have a religion yet. We are nowhere near that. So I'm going to tell the warriors to continue automating. And let's dismiss this message and keep going. After a couple more turns, we'll have some stuff. Yeah, you can go away, advisor. And what they've... So my warriors have found a source of jade and some rice. So maybe my second city will want to be around about there, so I can get access to that stuff quickly. Now that I've built my scout, I'm going to start building... Let's go with a... I need a bigger city before I can do settlers, so let's go with a... Builder's 5 turns. Let's go with the builder, because that'll help me get all these bonuses. And my scout can go and auto-explore, and I just hope he goes in a different direction. He did. There does appear to be some tundra over there, so that might be a nice place to expand to take advantage of my racial bonuses. Now that sounded like something impressive happened, but I don't know what it was. Oh, I'm being asked to choose a pantheon. I must have... That's probably due to the faith that I got from the last round. So I'm going to pick one of my favourite pantheons. So with this pantheon stuff, you get bonuses based on which set of gods you worship. You get to pick which ones you want. After you get far enough along, you can actually found a religion and then try to convert other people to your religion. And if you convert enough of the other civilizations to your particular religion of choice, then that's one of the ways to win the game. So I'm going to take my favourite starting one, fertility rights, because who doesn't want more fertility, right? It makes my city grow faster, and I mean, sex parties are always funny, right? So here's another new feature. Now that I've gone and actually achieved something, I get boosted research towards mysticism in this case, because I'm worshipping a pantheon of gods. So I'm going to hit next turn, and I'm going to finish researching mining in a moment.
Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?
So now that I've done that, I can go research something else, and I'm going to go with... Let's go with the animal husbandry, if I happen to find any animals to work with. Next turn again. I found a city-state.
Enacting new policies in our...
A lot of stuff has just happened at this turn. So I've completed a civic. So you start by default by learning the Code of Laws civic, because that's the only, that's the start point. There's nothing else you don't have there. And civics are now a separate social thing from the tech tree. It used to be that all your government and social policies were in the same tech tree as your scientific stuff. Now it's been split off, so all of your culture that you gain from, I don't know, for example, paintings, etc., etc., that goes towards expanding you in a more political, artistic sense. So now that we've got Code of Laws, I can set these cards. So my government type is a chieftain, so I can add one military policy and one economic policy, and assign those. So what I'm going to do is go God King to capitalize on the faith bonus that I've already got, and I'm going to take Discipline, because I've found in general I get attacked by barbarians quite early, and Discipline gives me bonus combat strength against barbarians specifically. Now that I've confirmed those policies there. Later on you can change what type of government you have once you've researched the correct civics, and that'll change what slots you have to work with there. Now that that's happened, I'm just going to have a look around. My warriors found a barbarian scout, so let's tell them to go that way. And so I've just met another civilization. I'm not sure who this is. Pedro II from Brazil. Okay, so I'm going to be polite to him. It's an honor to meet you. He wants me to go enjoy his carnival. I'll say we would love to sample your hospitality, be nice to him. Now, we met another civilization, which is a requirement for boosting knowledge, so I can research knowledge much more quickly because there's a need for it. We understand there's a need now. So that's done. I believe... barbarians on less than full health. Looks like we did fight, so they'll sit there for a while. Now over here, there is a city-state which I've met, so I can interact with the city-state, I believe. They want me to destroy a barbarian outpost nearby, so I'll get bonuses with them. City-states, once you meet city-states, you can get bonuses with them. I was the first to discover this city-state, so I already have an envoy over there. You earn envoys by doing governmenty stuff, and the more you have in a particular city-state, the more bonuses you get related to the type. Now, Nan Mandol is a cultural city-state, so for having my free envoy for being the first to discover it, I get +2 culture in my capital, and that is per turn. So that's nice. That'll help me with my civics and stuff. Speaking of civics, let's select the next one. So, craftsmanship will learn quicker if I improve 3 tiles. Foreign trade will learn quicker if I discover a second continent. Now, I'm unlikely to be able to wander onto another continent unless I get really lucky with where things are. Maybe this path can, but it's also blocked by a city-state. So I'm going to go ahead and pick craftsmanship, because I can improve tiles with my builder. I'll start by setting him over to this farm, or over the wheat, build a farm. Building a farm has given me knowledge of irrigation, so I get a bonus to learning that research when the time comes. However, you can only do one research and one civic at a time, so I'm going to finish animal husbandry and then see where that route takes me. Now that that's been done, I'm going to start building a monument in St. Petersburg, and that was a rather eventful turn. Now, you could probably see this starts to feel a little bit fragmented quite quickly, but that's because you've got a lot of systems all at play. So while I start explaining one system, another one comes into play and sidetracks me.
I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals.
Apparently that was Winston Churchill quoting that. Okay, so I've finished a research, so I'm going to select a new research. Now, all of these are going to take quite a long time. Now, I can open this tech tree and see what leads to what as well, and eventually you end up in future tech, and it's ridiculous. But back where we are, pottery is a requirement for irrigation and for writing, both of which are things that I kind of want. And I'd probably go with writing sooner than later so I can work on the library and increase science. The more science you have, the quicker you research technology. So I'm going to click on writing. So that's queued up pottery, and then writing is going to be done immediately afterwards, unless I come in and interfere with that. So we'll let that run. Apparently another neutral village has been discovered by one of my scouts, and I right-clicked that to dismiss it, but oh, there it is. So I'm going to tell my Russian scout specifically to go there rather than go randomly. Now, I can't get the wine because I don't have irrigation yet, so I'm going to send my builder over to the stone, and the next turn when I'm allowed to tell them to do things, I'm going to build a mine, which will increase production in my main city here. Meanwhile, my barbarian dudes, well, my warrior dudes, seem to have lost track of the barbarians, so I'm just going to tell them to explore again. And they found the barbarian. We'll see how that goes next turn. So now Pedro has... Good old Pedro, he wants to send me a diplomatic delegation. Now doing that means I will receive some gold from him, but he'll receive information from me about things I do, like researches or meeting other civilizations, etc. However, they do tend to be a little bit more friendly towards you if you do it, so I'm going to accept his delegation. But then I'm immediately going to talk back to him. For some reason he's unfriendly to me. And it's got here that they're unknown reasons. I'm going to send a delegation to him and see if he accepts it. Which he has done, so in theory that'll balance out his unfriendliness. But it won't do it immediately. A lot of these things won't have their effects take hold until the next turn. So I've got a unit that needs orders, my builder, so I'm telling him to build a quarry on that. Now that I have a quarry and I have stone, my knowledge of masonry has been boosted. So that's a nice one. And it appears I don't have anything else I can really tell people to do, so I'm going to hit the next turn. Okay, so my reward for finding that random village was that I learnt about state workforce, well-organized community. That will come into play a bit later, might not even get far enough for it to actually matter in this video. Now, unit needs orders, this barbarian guy. I wanted to go bash that barbarian scout. I found a barbarian encampment. This is going to get problematic very quickly, I think, so I'm going to need to take care of them. My warrior will probably be sitting there for a while fighting. Fortunately, I've got the bonus versus barbarians, so maybe he can do it on his own. We'll see. So go to the next turn. Now, what do I want to do with my builder? The game recommends I build farms in these three, and I totally could. I don't have irrigation, so I can't do the wine thing yet, so I'll send him to that spot, and he's going to have to wait. A scout can just wander. The scout has found sheep. There's lots of resources in this area, just I can't really take advantage of them all until I've got control over those areas. This yellow set around my main city is the zone of control it has, so I can build stuff in here, and it's basically land that I own. If I want to expand that more quickly, I can spend gold to purchase some of those tiles. I'd rather not at this point because I'm not particularly rich. The other way to do it is to send settlers out and found a new city entirely. And that can also help you in gaining gold if you establish trade routes and stuff. So as you can see, if you're new to civilization, this game gets very in-depth very quickly. It's very easy to get swamped. Gonna hit next turn.
No man ever wetted clay and then left it. As if
So I've finished researching pottery. I'll just shut Sean up right there. And I've finished building a monument in my city as well, so that'll help with faith, etc. So I'm going to start producing something else. If I build a granary, I'll get bonuses to food and housing. You need housing for your people. You also need food for them, obviously. And if you have a surplus of food and housing, then your city will grow in size and you'll get more people to work these tiles and you'll grow quicker. It will also help in expanding some of your lands. So I'm going to build. I am concerned about these guys, so I'm going to build a slinger just in case to back them up. Now, my warrior, I'm going to send him to fight the scout. In the bottom right here, you can see. If I mouse away from it, you won't see it anymore, but it shows the likelihood of me succeeding. So I get 20 base strength for the warrior. I lose 2 because he's lost a bit of health already, and he gets another +5 for having advantage versus barbarians. Meanwhile, the scout has 10 strength to work with, and he loses 4 for being damaged. So that fight's has happened. I haven't killed the unit, but I've definitely damaged it. Now over here, this builder, build a farm. Boost it. I get bonuses to craftsmanship because I've met that goal. And that boost actually finished my research, so now I actually know how that works. So I've now unlocked an extra couple of cards. One that gives me bonus production speed towards ancient classical era units, and one that gives me extra production again towards builders. I'm going to leave it for now, and I might swap to the builders on when I need to improve more tiles. Note that my builder has now run out. They get 3 buildings and then disappear. In prior civilization games, it would take more than a single turn to build an improvement, but they would last forever. I like it this way better because then I'm not stuck waiting ages for them to build a farm if I'm desperately in need of food. Now, I think I'm going to go into foreign trade. That state workforce requires me to build a district, which once I have the right set of technologies, in which case writing will actually allow me to do that, I'll be able to build that district and it'll finish that civic off for me probably. So let's just hit next turn. Now I've just learnt that Brazil has used a warrior to clear a barbarian outpost. That's what the delegation does. That's the kind of information you learn from having a delegation in someone else's town. Now my warrior, that scout has started running. I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to head towards the spear guy here. Actually, I'm going to promote him. The warrior's got enough experience, so I'm going to make him stronger. It's healed him a bit, and he'll be more equipped to take out those barbarians. Now, what's my scout doing over here? He's found horses, jade, and more gluten. And that's a Brazilian scout. Okay, we don't have open borders yet, so he cannot enter my territory without declaring war. Probably won't do that. He might ask for open borders later. And I've just learned that Brazil is worshipping a pantheon of the gods focused on the sacred path belief, which means something. I don't know them all off by heart. Those spearmen attacked my warrior and came off second best. But I'm going to choose my production first. I feel like I'm doing well enough there. I'm going to start building a settler. I'm going to start sending my slinger up in that direction just as backup in case he needs it. And I'm going to get aggressive with this warrior. Okay, so the warrior won and took over the barbarian outpost. I get some gold for destroying the barbarians and ransacking their village, but hell, they're attacking me, it's their fault. I also get a boost towards the military tradition civic as a result of having done that. And, well, I think that kind of ends my turn. There's not much else I need to do here, so onwards.
We have recently gained advanced knowledge.
Yeah, shut up.
Is easy. All you have to do is cross out the wrong words.
Okay, I'll believe it. So, I can choose a new research now that writing's been completed. Remember that I'd queued up 2 technologies. And I believe irrigation is probably a good choice now, so I can get that wine and probably that cotton. I'll probably settle a village over near that area. So let's go with irrigation. Now, unit needs orders. This warrior. I'm going to tell the warrior to fortify for the time being because he'll regenerate health in case there happen to be any more barbarians. Like, be mean. Now, this slinger, I'm just going to send him back to my town, and next turn when I get to order them again, I'll just get it to fortify and it'll defend the city in case something does come after me. With that, I'll end my turn.
Every nation lives by exchanging.
So I've learnt foreign trade as a civic, and all of these options come back up again. So I'm going to... let's go with production in all cities. So whenever you learn a new civic, you can change them over for free. Otherwise, it costs you gold to be able to move these cards around. I'm going to leave our military policies as bonuses versus barbarians in case they change their mind and come after me. For example, there is this barbarian scout over here. I suspect that there's more barbarians down in this direction, considering that the city-state wants me to help deal with them. Now, let's pick a new civic. I'm going to leave state workforce, because once that settler's done, I'm going to build a district. So I will learn... Let's see... Let's go with mysticism. I founded a pantheon, it makes mysticism quicker. The slinger, I'm going to send after that. Oh, that didn't work. Next turn, that slinger should be... Well, the scout's much faster than the slinger is, I guess. So... Let's send the slinger out that way. I'll use them to explore this area and see if there are barbarians there. Well, something happened.
My liege, we have a...
Thousands have lived without
There's a
love.
lot that just happened, so we're going to work...
To say I practice militant.
Okay. First off, I'm going to see what this mysticism got me. It's got me policies that I can't actually use. I don't have a slot for them. Now, there aren't, I believe... Yeah, they're not diplomatic. They don't have a type. So I have to take up wildcard slots. They're for getting great people, which give you big bonuses. Now, I finished a research, so I'm going to start the next one on that. And let's make it masonry. I finished a civic, so let's move on to early empire. I finished building that settler, so let's build a campus. Now, a campus is a district, so it's going to increase my scientific research output. Now, I've got to pick which tile it's going to go into, and one is any buildings that are focused on research afterwards will then be built in this district, as opposed to prior civilization games where everything was just built in your town centre. Now, some of these, you get bonuses based on what's nearby. So here, it's a +1 science because there's a mountain next to it. I guess it's so they can look to the stars. You got lots of astrology stuff. Over here, this one's +3 because it's got heaps of mountain tiles, but I don't own that tile. So I'm going to buy that tile and do that, because that +3 is going to be really, really nice. So my campus district for studying is going to be sandwiched between mountains. Now, I met a new city-state over here with my exploring scout. So I can go take a look at what they've got. I was not the first, so they have not given me a free envoy, but I got an envoy from my other policies. So I'm going to send one there, because it'll beat this threshold of 1, which gives me some science in my capital. Research stuff quickler. Quickler? Quickler's not a word. Now, my... what's the word? My settler's been built. So it's changed all of this map, because the best places to found new cities involve having plenty of water nearby. So the places that are the greener they are the better spots. So if you're next to a river, source of fresh water, they will have better housing to start with. So I'm going to set it on this spot. However, that looks like there's a barbarian village there. So all of this is a very bad decision, so I'm going to send my warriors down there. My slinger can start going in that direction too. If it does get uncovered, I'm going to send my settlers elsewhere, otherwise they'll get destroyed. So you're about to see poor decisions. Okay, so we've met Greece. Pericles of Athens. It's an honor to meet you. Exchanging info on the capitals. It's just being friendly to him. And he doesn't seem to dislike me. That's good. I'll send him a delegation. He's happy with that. He's taken a delegation. If they're unhappy with you, they might not actually accept your delegates, so you might not be able to get that information. Now, Pedro's still unhappy with me, but I do have a delegation with him, so it's interesting. Now, Stockholm wants me to send a trade route, but I cannot do that yet. I don't have the ability. And I'm focusing on this stuff. Okay, so the Greeks are now sending me a delegation. I've sent you a delegation bearing gifts. Don't be alarmed, there's no large wooden horse involved. Alright. Come on in then. Gives me some gold. He'll learn some stuff about me periodically, but he's received a foreign delegation from Russia as well. So... Wait a minute, I'm Russia. I learned information about myself from him. Oh well, it doesn't really filter that stuff out for you. So... Let's see what's going on here. Greece is worshipping a pantheon of the gods, focus on goddess of the harvest belief. Okay then. There is a barbarian village there.
Your Grace, we have obtained
Each
Yeah.
of us is carving
Ah,
a stone, erecting
stuff
a
everywhere.
or cutting
Masonry has been researched, so I'll start a new research. Considering that there are barbarians right there, let's go with archery. Now, as much as I want to start a city here... let's live dangerously. Done. Now, build a city on the coast. It gives me bonuses to sailing. Because I'm probably going to need it. Now, those barbarians may just decide to walk into my now empty town. So, I have a bit of gold. And I can just buy a slinger. So that's what I'll do. So I'm not going to leave my brand new city completely unguarded. Now, it doesn't have very much production, so it's going to take ages for it to build anything. I'm going to start with a granary so that we can start getting food and more people into it sooner. Pedro's unhappy about where I've put that city because we're close to him. And, land grab. He was already unhappy with me. I can apologize to him. I can ignore and say I'll look elsewhere. I can just be a jerk and tell him I'll go where I please. Yeah, Mundo goes where he pleases. He's not going to respect me. Oh, well, you already didn't anyway, jerk. He's probably not going to help me with my barbarian problem if I ask, hey. Now, in theory, I should be able to range attack. I don't have an attack range of longer than 1. This is why I need archery. Where are my other slingers? I get bonuses to archery if I kill a unit with a slinger, so let's do that. Yeah, slingers aren't very good. Got a new city state quest. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Trigger an inspiration for early empire. One of these warriors. These warriors are gonna come down here and start dealing with these barbarians for me. Next turn. Okay, so those spearmen attacked my unguarded city centre and have dealt damage. It will heal, but not particularly quickly. Now, St. Petersburg needs to do stuff, so let's build a wall. Now. This is getting silly. So you're about to watch me get absolutely annihilated by... Wah!
While your arrow is on its way to the target.
Okay, so I completed Early Empire and Archery. That's nice. See why in a moment. So, for my next research, let's go with Sailing, because now I can actually build boats. As for my next Civic, we'll go with State Workforce, because it's half done. I'm going to go to my government stuff, because... No, I haven't succeeded yet. I need... Okay, I thought I had the tech I needed to change government. I do not. We'll look at the bonus towards settlers. Yeah, I don't care. Not yet. Now, I can pay gold to turn this singer into an archer instantly, which I've done. He doesn't get to act immediately though, so that's a thing. I could buy a scout. I'm not going to. This guy with a club is just going to punch him. Oh, that's Brazil's. That guy with the club's not going to punch him. This guy with the club is going to go and stand in the way, I guess. Okay. Alright. Well, if that's... Ah, I forgot slingers here. I'm just kind of chasing these guys in circles. Those barbarians pillaged one of my farms.
The more special.
Just getting bombarded with information and barbarians. That's pretty fun. So... I'm going to turn that slinger into an archer. Doesn't get to act immediately, but much better than they were. This barbarian, take over that town. Sorry, warrior, not barbarian. My archers are killing barbarians. Because I've had a bunch of fights with barbarians, I've highlighted the need for stronger weaponry. I can learn bronze working much more quickly. Next turn.
Not that life ashore is distant.
Researched sailing, so let's begin researching. I can get astrology quite quickly and start building shrines and stuff. I'm gonna do that. You do have to try and balance your warmongering and defense needs as well as your science. So this warrior is going to go into Novgorod, and he can defend that. This archer can murder them, or not. I've finished building walls. And here's the part where you start to see how not good at this game I am, because I am just kind of skipping over turns relatively quickly. Let's learn political philosophy. Let's build... Let's build a library. The archers can start to go deal with these guys. This club guy can defend the city. And yeah, I think this is probably the point where I'm going to leave it. So it's a relatively shortish look at civilization, and you can see how things have already gone south for me because I don't know what I'm doing. So until next time, have fun.